Hello and welcome back to another Millennial Minute. Our hot topic today was Major League Baseball right to move the All Star Game. You've already heard from our guests, Democratic strategist Max Burns and political strategist Ajay Bruno. Welcome to you both.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so we'll start with you, AJ. So the league moved the All-Star Game from Atlanta to Denver after the new Georgia Voting Rights Act was passed. Did they have the right to?
Well, did they legally have the right to? I guess it's kind of a gray area because there's a lawsuit going on. Maybe they did, but did they have the moral right to do it? That's another issue. I think not. The reason why they're moving this to begin with is politically motivated. Every corporation, major league sport, this day and age, they're just eating into this. I don't understand it at all. It doesn't make any sense to me. This law in particular, all it's basically doing is saying you have to have an ID to vote. It's not that difficult. The British government just introduced a law saying that you have to have an ID to vote there, and they're much more to the left on social policy than we generally are. So I don't see why this is a big deal. Do we want illegal immigrants to vote? Do we want illegal votes to happen? I don't care what election it is, who's doing it. I want any sort of fraud cut off. It's not a big deal. And, what Major League Baseball is doing, frankly, makes me lose a little bit of faith in this country. This is our pastime, and I'm disgusted.
Well, and Max, at the end of the day, this is about money. AJ touched on it before. This is costing Atlanta $100 million of lost tourism dollars. Should the league be responsible for that?
I think this is a great example of the old adage of act a fool, get treated like a fool. No one forced the Republicans to do this. There was ample warning from businesses that this was something that would make it very hard for them to morally feel comfortable doing business in Georgia. And this is nothing new. In fact, the only thing new about this is that conservatives only seem to get upset about boycotts and using the market to make a political point when it's targeted against them. There was no such concern when Republicans boycotted Keurig, boycotted the NFL, tried to bankrupt the MLB in 2016 for its belief that it was insufficiently loyal to Donald Trump. The list of conservative boycotts and attempts to change politics through economic means is vast. This is just outrage because it's happening to them.
Well, and AJ, many people are claiming that this is about avoiding risk rather than taking a stand. If the MLB gets too involved, they could lose sponsorships and anything else that has to do with the actual All-Star Game. Like, what do you think about that?
I mean, who do they think are watching baseball? The audience for baseball leans very much conservative. Yeah. You don't have these BLM rioters out there watching ball games. I don't think they're the main target audience here. So I think the bigger risk is what they're doing now. You're alienating your base of fans. I don't understand what they're doing at all, but they feel pressure to do it. They're caving into it. I don't know. But it's just this situation of madness we have in this country now. We've gone so far off the deep end. I mean, a few years ago, this is not something I would have even imagined conceiving happening. So I'm very worried about the future of this country if this is the path we're on here, where we're going to involve basically petty politics in baseball like this. It's wrong. It's hurting innocent people. And frankly, there's nothing wrong with this law to begin with. So they're making, a mountain out of a anthill or molehill, whatever it is. But it's wrong. It's wrong. And baseball is probably not going to change course, obviously. But I think it's a real shame. And hopefully the people of Georgia fight back in some way.
And Max, is there anything the league could do to make it up to Atlanta, which is an area with a lot of minority-owned businesses that were relying on that tourism money?
Yeah, I think this is really more on Georgia to make it up to the voters that they've now essentially made almost impossible to cast ballots in a lot of circumstances. This isn't on the MLB to apologize for Georgia doing something it knew was wrong when it did it. And we've seen this in the past. In 2016 in North Carolina, Republicans wanted a fundraising issue, something to stir up the base. So they passed a ban on transgender people using the bathrooms that they identify as. And they spent every year since 2016 digging themselves out from that. It was only last year that they finally repaired the damage and brands and major companies began to come back in large part. That also destroyed the GOP in North Carolina. So this is the risk when you start running politics as policy, that you're going to alienate people, you're going to hurt your business base, and you're not going to make life any better for your constituents.
All right, guys, we're running out of time, but AJ, do you have any more final thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to point out what Max said there. I don't understand the big deal here. You're making a huge issue out of an ID to vote. Do you think people are not capable of having an ID to vote? That doesn't make any sense to me. It's not that hard to get one. They don't cost that much. They're very easy to procure. And if there is any risk of voter fraud, by having one, it vastly minimizes it. I think that's something that, regardless of partisan views, people should be able to get behind. I mean, countries all around the world require voter ID laws. So this is something we should have on a national level. There's nothing racist about it. The only thing racist here is the belief that some people are somehow not capable of getting an ID. I think that's wrong here. I'm tired of bringing partisan politics in it. I don't know what he's talking about, the whole transgender thing, completely unrelated to this issue. But I'll just leave it at I think he knows that that side is wrong in the argument, and we have the moral imperative on this one.
And Max, any final thoughts?
Sure, we can run through the list really quick. On page 39, banning election officials from mailing out absentee ballot applications that haven't been requested directly. Page 38, less time to request a ballot, and it's harder to request one when you can. Page 47, cutting ballot drop boxes from 94 in 2020 to 23 in 2022, and making them no longer 24 hours. We can go on, but this 90-page law is a lot more than asking you for a driver's license, and Republicans knew that when they wrote it.
All right, well, I think we've given a lot of people something to sit with. So thank you both for being here today, gentlemen.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
And thank you all for watching. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and much more at Bold TV. Have a great day, everybody.